Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Today, I would like to share with you all entitled on the utilizing artificial intelligence in dealing with the corporate press. This presentation is made during the International Accounting Fair, but I do believe this is going to be useful as well to be shared with the community in GRC, Governance, Risk Management and Compliance community. Let me upload the screen. As I have already mentioned, the title is Utilizing Artificial Intelligence in Dealing with Corporate Waste. This presentation is a part of a bigger theme on the building resilient, leveraging enterprise risk management in uncertain circumstances. The agenda is split into a couple of points from the present and common use of technology risk management up to the way forward. Let me begin. Present and common use of technology in risk management. I would like to start with a short statement as follows. Technology, very good, very important, very helpful. However, don't get misperception or misunderstanding, i.e., the technology is helping but not replacing the accountability and capability for decision-making process over uncertainty and risk. It remains on us. It remains on the people. And another thing that I need also to highlight and mention is before we talk further about the technology in risk management, we must then refresh our understanding the difference between uncertainty, risk, problem, crisis, and disaster. Uncertainty is a natural condition situation whereby there is a lead time between when we make decision, say today, and what is the expected outcome as a result of the decision itself. That will be in the future. There's a lead time, then in between we are in the situation of uncertainty. So it is natural. And risk is the effect of uncertainty on our objective. So then, risk is a potential event that may us not achieve our objective. However, this is a potential, not yet an actual. If the potential event become the actual, then we cannot call as a risk anymore, but it is a problem. Problem that's recurring over and over and makes us unable to create value. We call it crisis. And then if crisis too much or too long, that make us out of the business, we call it as disaster. So uncertainty, risk, problem, crisis, and disaster can be understood in actually in their own criteria and situation. Now, let us see on the varying application of technology in the risk management. We are not going to go one by one, but this is just a snapshot on the presentation slide from the DNA sequencing, from, say, for example, forecasting the weather, from the dashboard, say, up to then the capital market forecasting, say, the robot that we use in the capital market transaction, up to the International Space Station, that we can use technology of risk management in such a way so that make us or help us in making decision what to do under certain situation. Then if we move to now on the concept of artificial intelligence, I think it's quite worth to have a look back when actually Alan Turing invented with the Turing test in 1950, and then booming time, although there are two AI winter, so this is actually a kind of the step back of the AI innovation and development. Now after the deep learning revolution in 2012, 2013, up to now, 2019 and 2021, and then onward, the deep learning revolution make the AI, artificial intelligence, get off the ground again, and then characterizing our daily life. Here, what then actually the concept of AI? AI is actually the simulation of human intelligent process, especially computer system. It refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their action. The term may also be applied to any machine that exhibits traits associated with human mind, such as learning and problem solving. Therefore, based on a couple of research and literature review, we can say artificial intelligence programming focuses on three cognitive skills that humans have. One, learning. Second, reasoning. And self-correction. Then anywhere, anytime, yeah. When we are about learning, about reasoning and self-correction, and then we are dealing with the mimic by machine, then actually we are dealing with the artificial intelligence. Yeah. Let's have a look a little bit how AI attempts to mimic our brain functioning, which is breakthrough in 2013, where the crucial breakthrough allowed AI to apply neural network or deep learning and then using as the concrete application from face recognition to pattern recognition in general. So this is like our brain consists of a couple of billion of cells. You call it neuron, where actually transmitted information. They are trying also make a meaning of the information itself and so on, etc. Then it is mimicked by perceptron, that use it in the artificial intelligence, putting some inputs that process it here, and then the output could help us also in decision making. This is just very simple illustration. For example, using with the deep learning, more than 90% of AI today, they're trying to put save some input, and then they are making output and more consistent, over and over and etc. So it seems like they are thinking, they are splitting, they are selecting, like say there are 5 animals consist of dog and cat. They know exactly where are the cat, where are the dog, based on the input that we make it here. So then, now we are on a slide of comparison between the classification error either done by machine or versus by human. Here, the result of image classification error over time say quite different. Before the deep learning revolution, the machine classification error is much higher than the human benchmark. However, after the deep learning revolution, especially in the mid of 2014, the machine classification error reached to the rate even lower than human benchmark. What does it mean? It means then the result or the output as produced by the machine is more accurate than by the humans benchmark itself. So then we can rely on the humans classification after the deep learning. The result can be used to help us in decision making because the error already lower than the human's benchmark. Let us move to the next slide. How AI can be applicable in our daily life? We can have a look. Say from the chatbot of voice recognition, the deep learning, machine learning, the natural language processing, the face recognition, the big data, the quantum computing, the cloud, so on, etc., and digital space. Even wearable technology, you and me wearing a very fancy wearable technology, blockchain, virtual reality, augmented reality, and last but not least, digital twin. So actually we can mimic whatever people say somewhere, say in Netherlands, they're using kind of say our digital twins in there and doing kind of surgery or say the brain surgery. We can do it and mimic in Indonesia, for example, because our digital twins will help us then and trying to help us step by step to do what is necessary to do. Then when we go to the next slide, yeah, how AI can be applicable in organization. You and me actually have already experienced many things. Siri, Tesla, driverless, Cogito, expert system, Netflix. You can actually enjoy your life by not so much confusing on what you have to choose if you have on the favorite theme of the movie. Pandora, Nest by Google, Box Ever, Flying Drones, Echo. There is a lot. I can name it one by one. Every day there is another one invention coming up. Yeah. However, what we need to highlight, what need to underline, actually AI is influencing the way we live, either through organization or through community or through our social life, yeah, to interact and improve customer experience. Especially when we talk about organization would like to create value. Their value is created by having more and more customers that using their product or solution or services, and those that's going to use it or buy it is going to move and make action based on their experience when they're dealing with our organization. We call it, this is customer experience. I have a friend, he's a director of Grab, yeah, and he's the director of customer experience, sharing then in one of the occasion how actually customer experience or CX life cycle in the Grab. For example, yeah, they identify what is the cycle here from the registration, Grab then how to reach actually the driver, yeah, and then the riding experience by the passengers, pricing and payment, support service, communication. This is actually the life cycle, and let's see how actually Grab's doing their work on it. Say then they use AI in this case in transforming the Grab customer experience. Say on the registration, they could make it PAX is passenger selfie and DEX is driver selfie picture. So the passenger and the driver can see each other and ensure the safety and trust in their platform. Now the booking experience, I help them to identify the heat map or high demand point or the traffic jam, and then providing the closest and fastest driver allocation and pickup point. So this is very good, helping both sides, PAX and DEX. In food, for example, recommended menu or favorite restaurant are also available. Eaters can optimize food, doodle on the searching menu, for example. Then another experience, the ride experience. Grab chat feature enabling PAX and DEX to chat on multi-language, auto-translate, and for safety purpose, you can imagine, yeah, sometimes we need to communicate, sometimes there is a different dialect. Yeah, if it is across the country or across even the global, then there's a lot of multi-language that be applied in our daily life. Say the right experience that helping us auto-translating will help a lot, yeah, of our time, also that our comfortable time and comfortable experience. Then price and payment, net fare prediction. So people, especially the DEX here and PAX, they can predict the fare that based on distance, supply and demand, and auto adjust promo if there is a promo here. Then last but not least is a support service automation. For ride experience, food quality and quality refund, and then this feedback is going also to measure how good is the DEX and how good is the PAX as well. So then this is the artificial intelligence will help then the customer experience of the Grab, both PAX or passenger as well as the DEX or driver's experience. That's why and how Grab can do that. Basically, the way they see is the ecosystem serving Indonesia. They do with the collaboration and forming integrated digital with so many partners. I'm not going to say one by one, but you can see illustration here. The experience actually coming from the collaboration and using integrated technology. Yeah. AI is in place. Say another example. If we got a time to, say, someday in Netherlands, especially Amsterdam, you can see the Edge building. The Edge building is now being said as one of the most, if it is not the most eco-friendly building. Because what? Because the building can create more energy than it consumes. So this is something that's a very breakthrough. Yeah, the building can create their own energy consumption. They satisfy their consumption as well as producing more than needed. So can be shared with the other building that later on. On the same hall, say this is the airport. So Philips, as one of the big company conglomerate, they're not selling the product anymore, but they are renting. So in this case, they are renting the light and they charge on the basis of the consumption of the light itself. This can happen, this possible happen because of artificial intelligence. Let's look another terminology, another side, i.e. the risk management. How AI can be applicable in risk management? Don't forget to start again, refresh the memory of what does it mean risk. Risk is the effect of uncertainty on objective. Okay, now let's see how AI can be applicable in risk management. AI can be applicable in risk management because it can help us from just descriptive analytic capability, reporting, statistic, up to the diagnostic analytic. Why something happened? Data exploration, discovery, data mining, then even moving up to predictive analytic. What will happen? So then AI help us on predictive modeling, clustering, forecasting, and last but not the least now, foresight, meaning what? Optimization, prescriptive analytic. How can we make it happen? Not just predicting, but also that how can we make it happen? This is something that helping us by graph analysis, simulation, neural network, and then recombination on the engine and machine learning. However, one thing that need to be highlighted, whatever it is, whatever the AI is, sophistication, it is not useful if there is no 5V of data. Here, 5 bubbles here, 5V of data. The volume of data should be enough. Velocity, value of data, veracity and variety. I'm not going to go one by one, but just want to highlight the veracity. What does it mean? Veracity means trustworthiness, authenticity, origin, reputation, availability, accountability. So then, hoax or something like press information, data, etc., is going to be no value in AI. So AI require the 5V data, and the most important thing is veracity, the data that are trustworthy. Now let us move to the next. The example application of risk management, AI now can be, of course, then adopted by organizations who actually using the ERM framework, either ERM framework based on the COSO, where actually they highlight 5 things: governance culture, strategy and objective setting, performance management, review and revision, and information communication and reporting. So in any step and any stage of the risk management, AI is going to help us on how are we going to be accountable for the decision making we make, i.e. based on the data. How are we going to make it the predictive analysis that we need can also AI, and even how can we make it things happening? That's also very much important. Then we in the need of AI in this case. Now the second reference that widely used now globally is ISO 31000 in the risk management that emphasize 3 elements here: principle of risk management, framework, as well as process. So AI in this case is everything of the element. AI is going to have value, but of course then on the data processing, on the information processing, then AI is going to help on the reporting of posts, the assessment, identification, analysis, etc., monitoring, review, and support, and etc. The thing was the difference between using AI and not AI is we are going to be able then to make it ourselves then being reported not just statistic, not just information, but this is something like predictive and even perhaps can be an option what to do to make things either not to happen, to avoid, or to happen faster if we really needed certain event to occur much faster than we originally anticipate. Now, the benefit, cost, and risk of using AI in risk management, of course, that we need to apply something if it creates more benefit than the cost. Now, this is something that I can say is it would depend on how high you want to go. For example, this is illustration on the left. This is just a dashboard of our car, helping us just giving information on what our car, the speed of our car, the gasoline, how much we still have it. But we do not need to measure, say, our height from the ground or the wind pressure from the back. We do not need that one. Okay, but you need it if you are 1,000 miles above the ground level. Say if you actually flying with the Airbus, you need even oxygen deposit. You need it. Even the balance between your left wing and your right wing, and so on and etc. And even the weather in the other city where actually you are trying to fly over. So in an airplane, like Airbus, you need to understand the weather forecast from the city you are taking off and the city that you are going to land in. In the car, maybe you do not need to know the weather forecast in London where you are in Jakarta, for example. Okay. However, despite say you needed some information while you are flying with the Airbus, maybe you do not need say the gravity effect of the comets, for example. If the comet between say your moon and Mars, for example. This maybe you do not need it one. However, if you fly with a space shuttle, you need such information. So, in a nutshell, is we could use AI, but don't be too much overdone. Then create a confusion by yourself. However, if your business is complicated, your business spread say over region, you need it sophisticated AI. Use it. Don't just rely on the very simple information, the statistic only, and you are trying to make a very high impact decision here. So it depends on how you want to go in this case. Now, last but not least is when you talk about benefit cost of AI in risk management, it doesn't matter how sophisticated the AI is that you use. At least there are 5 objectives that should be able to be delivered by AI, i.e., they are going to help us to know whether our objective target in the risk or not. Second, they can also remind us to help us to understand whether we follow the rule and regulation or not. Third, do we have risky incidents being escalated? Because if we using the AI, if there is a risky incident, they are going to push you to escalate such information to the concerned people. You cannot just hold it and blinded the information to people that needs that information. 4, do we have key risk indicator and trend that need immediate response? 5, which risk assessment should be reviewed? So this is something that at least the information that needed upon the questions that we ask accordingly. Now let's move on. The way forward. I have just 2 slides over. The way forward, if you look at the graph on the left, here this is very interesting. It says like this: transactional activity are the most automatable, but opportunities exist across the most sub-functions. So here we can have a look. The yellow one, i.e. the activities that are difficult to automate. The green one is somewhat automatable. The light blue is highly automatable. The dark blue is fully automatable. Let's have a look in here. If you are in the general accounting operation, making a posting here and there, this is going to be automatable, easy. Okay, cash disbursement as well. It is also easy to automate. However, like external relation, business development, it is not easy. So this is not right or wrong or bad or good, but this is going to be a reminder to all of us that look, yeah, the implications quite different from one profession to other profession, from one activities to the other activities. If you look at the risk management, somewhat, yeah, just 20% then automatable. But if you needed risk management to help you making decisions for the future, so many things not possible to be automatable. It requires judgment. It requires certain consideration that cannot be just automatable. Now, let's have a look on the right graph. Yeah, the expectation for AI adoption across industry today is say in the next 5 years, for example. What is, say for example, the effect today in the next 5 years in the technology, media, telecom? Yeah, then huge. They are the biggest, 80% something. Consumer and so on, etc. And the public sector will have just 45% in the next 5 years. However, none with the arrow to direction left. So meaning that none of industry is going either to step back or to kick away the AI, yeah, to help their process in delivering the services or product. Overall, around 60 up to 70%, the impact of AI is going to be more and more intense in the next 5 years. Yeah. So then we hope that we are ready by the time. And now the latest slide. Yeah. I believe that many of us have heard the word of VUCA: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. For some people, this makes it a kind wow, concerning so much, because it means that we are going to see more challenges in our daily life as well as in our corporation life. However, I do hope and also share with you another VUCA to face this VUCA, i.e. vision, yeah, in order to overcome the volatility, looking beyond the instability to have still the clear intent and direction to desired future state. We must know what we are like to achieve. Second, understanding to overcome the uncertainty, i.e. having insight into factors to be considered, discovering new ways of thinking and acting. C, clarity to overcome the complexity, focusing on what is required to deliver increasing value to digitalization. In this case, AI, making us more clear, yeah. And last but not least, the agility to overcome the ambiguity, being ready and responsibly by taking a nimble, flexible, and lightweight approach. Yeah. So AI is going to help you to have the visions, make it more clear, understanding faster, better, more accurate, and then having clarity to be agile. So the last word is, yeah, for the young generation or for those that actually the professional, let us focusing on what we like to achieve by having our vision and clarity in place and taking the risk that we can measure, not just measuring the risk we take, yeah, without any understanding of our objective. So in these cases, we do hope then the end result is make us become agile, make us become able to resolve and to overcome any challenges that might face to all of us. Okay, that's the presentation actually I made in the Indonesia Accounting Fair. Thank you so much, and I do hope this presentation is useful to all of us. Thank you.